The starry sky above Earth was no longer peaceful. Thousands of ships from 100 different worlds gathered in defense of the small blue planet. The Galactic Alliance had prepared for this moment for almost 2 years. Han Seung-jae stood on Nir, the bridge of the Earthlight, the largest ship humans had built. Once a history professor specializing in military strategy, he now commanded the Alliance fleet. The Council Armada will arrive in 3 days, he told his officers. They have 5 times more ships than we do. Then we lose, said an alien captain. Han smiled. Numbers don't win battles, thinking does. For days Han studied Council battle records from the Alliance database. He noticed something important. In 50,000 years, the Council had never changed its tactics. They always attacked the same way because no one had ever beaten them before. They expect us to defend Earth, Han told Alliance leaders. So, we won't. His plan was bold. Most of the Alliance fleet would move away from Earth. They would gather at Proxima Centauri, the closest star to Earth's sun. There, they would make their stand. This is risky, Park Ji-woo said. She was older now, with streaks of gray in her hair from 2 years of constant work. What if they attack Earth directly? Earth has the strongest shields now, Han explained. It can hold for a week, and the Council won't destroy what they want to take. When the Council Armada arrived, they found only a small force defending Earth. Most of the Alliance ships were gone. They have fled, Commander Drax told High Counselor Tarnax, who had come to witness Earth's defeat personally, just as expected from weak alliances. Find them, Tarnax ordered. Destroy them all. Then we take Earth. The Council's sensors detected the Alliance fleet at Proxima Centauri. The Armada changed course to pursue them, just as Han had predicted. They think we're retreating, Han told his captains, but we're choosing the battlefield. The Proxima Centauri system had a thick asteroid belt. Han positioned his ships there, using the asteroids for cover. Smaller, faster ships from worlds with high gravity hid behind moons. The largest ships waited near the star, using its radiation to mask their signatures. The humans call this strategy the hammer and the anvil, Han explained to alien officers who had never heard of such tactics. We trapped them between forces. When the Council Armada arrived, they saw what looked like a disorganized fleet trying to hide. They pushed forward confidently, their formation perfect after 50,000 years of unopposed victories. Begin the lag. Attack, Tarnax commanded. That's when Han sprung his trap. As the Council ships entered the asteroid belt, Alliance ships hidden among the rocks attacked their flanks. When the Council turned to fight them, the faster ships darted in from behind moons, targeting engines and weapons. On the Earthlight, Han gave the final order. Release the star bombs. This was Yoon Min-ji's latest invention. Devices that used the star's own energy against the enemy. When they detonated, they created miniature solar flares aimed directly at the Council ships. Shields designed to stop weapons couldn't block this natural force. Council ships lost power. They're perfect. Formation broke apart. Impossible, Tarnax shouted as his flagship shook. They're primitives. No, Commander Drax said quietly. There's something new. The battle raged for hours. The Council still had more ships, but for the first time in their history, they faced an enemy who didn't fight by their rules. Alliance ships used the terrain of space itself, asteroids, radiation belts, gravity wells, in ways the Council had never seen. By the end of the day, half the Council Armada was destroyed or disabled. The rest began to retreat. We can't let them regroup, Han told his officers. We press on. The Alliance fleet followed the retreating Council ships. News of the battle spread across the galaxy through John Soo-jin's network. On 1,000 worlds, beings who had lived under Council rule for generations watched in amazement as the unbeatable force was beaten. Rebellions broke out everywhere. Council governors fled. New worlds joined the Alliance every day. Tarnax's flagship limped back toward Council space, but it never arrived. 5 Council-member worlds blocked its path, their ships now flying Alliance colors. The old order is finished, they told him. The galaxy wants change. 3 months after the Battle of Proxima Centauri, Representatives from over 500 worlds gathered in Seoul. The same city where humans had first said no to the Council now hosted the first Galactic Congress of Equal Species. The grand meeting hall had been built specifically for this event. It could hold beings of all sizes and types. Water tanks for aquatic species sat next to climate chambers for those who breathed other gases. All were equal here. Park Ji-woo, now respected, across the galaxy stood to address the Congress. 2 years ago, Earth was alone. We knew nothing of the galaxy. Now we stand together with hundreds of worlds, not as rulers or subjects, but as equals. The gathered beings cheered, each in their own way. The Council ruled through force and fear. We will build something better, a galaxy where each world and species can follow its own path while working together for the good of all. The Congress elected Park as its first chairperson. She chose advisors from 12 different worlds. Together, they began the hard work of creating a new galactic order. Earth changed too. Alien visitors became common in human cities. Human ideas spread to the stars. Human music, art, and stories became popular across the galaxy. Kim Na-young, once a professor of sociology, now led the Congress's cultural exchange program. She helped species understand each other, finding common ground between beings who looked nothing alike. We're all different, she often said. But we all want the same basic things: safety, freedom, and the chance to grow. In the ruins of the council chambers on a distant world, scholars from 100 species studied the old records. They wanted to understand how the council had ruled for so long, and how humans had changed everything so quickly. It wasn't just human technology or tactics, one scholar concluded. It was their ideas. In all of council history, no species had ever imagined a galaxy of equals. Humans didn't just reject council rule, they offered a better way. 5 years after first contact, Earth celebrated. The stars that had once seemed so far away were now full of friends. Ships came from across the galaxy to join the party. At the Seoul spaceport, Park Ji-woo watched the ships land. She remembered that first meeting with Ambassador Vreen, when aliens had offered a false friendship that was really control. We could have taken the easy path, she said to Han Sung-jae, who stood beside her. We could have accepted their offer. Han nodded. And we would have lost everything that makes us human. The council never understood us, Park said. They thought all species were the same, that all would choose comfort over freedom. Their biggest mistake, Han replied, was thinking 50,000 years of history meant the future couldn't be different. As night fell, fireworks lit up Earth's sky. On 1,000 worlds across the galaxy, beings looked up at their own skies and wondered what the future would bring. For the first time in 50,000 years, that future was truly theirs to decide. And it had all started because humanity, alone among all species, had simply said no. 3 months had passed since the first battle with the Council. Earth had changed. Cities now had shield domes based on Yoon Min-ji's technology. Factories made weapons that could fight alien ships. But the smartest humans knew that weapons alone would not win this war. Baek Hyun-soo had been a mid-level diplomat before the aliens came. Now he stood in front of world leaders in the United Nations Hall in New York. We need to take the fight to them, Baek said. Not with ships and guns, but with words and ideas. How? Asked the Secretary General. We can barely leave our own solar system. Baek smiled. We captured 3 alien ships in the battle. Their computers have star maps and communication systems. We can use them to reach other worlds. The plan was bold. Baek would lead a team of diplomats on one of the captured ships. They would visit nearby star systems and try to find allies. This is very dangerous, Park Ji-woo told Baek before he left. The Council controls thousands of worlds, but I don't think they treat those worlds well, Baek replied. And that gives us a chance. The journey began. Earth scientists had learned enough about alien technology to make the ship work. They couldn't go as fast as the Council ships, but they could reach nearby stars. The first planet they visited was called Lumia. The Lumians were short beings with 4 arms and skin that changed color with their mood. When Baek's ship landed, the Lumians turned pale yellow with fear. Are you from the council? A Lumian leader asked. No, Beck said. We are from Earth. We have rejected the council, and we have fought them off. The Lumians turned bright orange, with shock. No one fights the council, one said. We do, Beck replied. And we think others might join us if given the chance. The Lumians were afraid at first. But as Beck shared videos of Earth's battle and explained human ideas of freedom and self-rule, they began to listen. The council takes half of all we produce, a Lumian explained. They say it's for protection, but they are the only threat we need protection from. This pattern repeated on other worlds. Beck's team visited 7 planets in 2 months. Each one had suffered under council rule. Each one was interested in an alternative. Back on Earth, John Sujin worked on another front. A genius with computers, she had hacked into the council's communication network. They control information, she told Park Ji-woo. Every species only knows what the council wants them to know. Sujin created a new network. Using captured alien technology, she sent out messages to thousands of worlds. The messages contained Earth music, art, and stories. They showed humans working together, humans celebrating differences, humans helping each other. Why share this? Park asked. Because the council tells everyone that pre-council species are violent savages, Sujin explained. We need to show that's not true. The council noticed these efforts too late. By the time they realized what was happening, dozens of worlds had already heard Earth's message. Some had even responded. In the Grand Council chamber, High Counselor Tarnax faced angry members. These humans have gone too far, one shouted. They spread dangerous ideas. Ideas like freedom and cooperation, another added. 3 systems have already demanded new terms or threatened to stop sending resources. Tarnax slammed his fist down. Enough. We will crush this rebellion, send more ships to Earth, and spread the word that humans are dangerous barbarians who want to destroy galactic peace. The Council's propaganda flooded the galaxy. They claimed humans were violent creatures who ate other species. They said Earth wanted to rule the galaxy with an iron fist. But John Sujin was ready. When the lies appeared, she countered with truth. She showed real images of Earth. She shared the Council's attack on human military bases. She revealed the unfair deals the Council forced on other worlds. The truth is our weapon, she told her team, and it's more powerful than any ship. As the months passed, more worlds joined what Bayek now called the Galactic Alliance of Independent Worlds. Some were strong worlds with resources. Others were small but offered unique skills or knowledge. Ryu Ji-hoon, a philosopher from Seoul National University, wrote the Charter of Alliance Rights. It was simple but powerful. All species are equal. All worlds own their own resources. Technology and knowledge are shared freely. Each world rules itself, but all work together on galaxy matters. No species may force its ways on another. This is the opposite of the Council's way, Ryu explained. They rule from above. We work from beside. The alliance grew rapidly. Within a year, 30 systems had joined, then 50, then 100. The Council, which had ruled for 50,000 years, faced its first real challenge. On Earth, humans prepared for the Council's response. They knew it would be harsh, but they also had new allies, new technology, and new hope. Baek returned to Earth after visiting 20 worlds. He brought representatives from 12 species with him. They met in Seoul, in the same hotel where humans had first rejected Council membership. We face a difficult fight, Baek told the gathered aliens. The Council has more ships, more weapons, more resources. A delegate from Lumia stood up. Its skin was deep red with determination. But they do not have what we have, it said. And what is that? Asked Park Ji-woo. Choice, the Lumian replied. For the first time in 50,000 years we have a choice, and we choose freedom. The Alliance created joint defense fleets. Humans provided courage and strategy. Other species offered advanced technology and knowledge of Council tactics. Together they fortified key systems and prepared for war. The Council was in disarray. Nothing like this had ever happened before. Half of their subject worlds were now watching closely. If the Alliance succeeded, thousands more might rebel. "We must end this now," Tarnax told his commanders. "Gather the Grand Armada. We will crush Earth and any world that stands with them." As the Council prepared for war, Beck met with Alliance leaders one last time. "The Council thinks this is about territory or resources," he said. "But it's about something they can't understand, the right to choose our own path." Across the galaxy, billions of beings watched and waited. The greatest conflict in Galactic history was about to begin. And at its center was Earth, a small blue planet that had dared to say no to the most powerful force in the galaxy. The diplomatic game had played out. Now war would decide the fate of all. The ships of the Galactic Council hung in Earth's sky like metal stars. People all over the world could see them day and night. Some prayed, some panicked. But in military bases and government buildings, humans made plans. General Choi Taiwan had fought in many battles during his 30 years in the Korean Army. Now he stood in an underground room in Seoul. Around him were military leaders from China, Japan, Russia, and other Asian nations. "We must work together now," Choi said. "This is not about our countries anymore, this is about our world." The other generals nodded. Old enemies became new allies as the Asian Defense Coalition was born. Similar meetings happened in Europe, Africa, and the Americas. Above Earth, Commander Drax looked down at the blue planet. He had conquered 12 worlds for the Council. Earth would be 13. "These humans are strange," he said to his officers. "No species has ever refused our generous offer." "What are your orders, Commander?" asked his second-in-command. "Standard Protocol 17, Drax replied. "We show force, then we offer our terms again. They will accept this time." On Earth, Yoon Minji worked without sleep. The young scientist had been studying quantum physics before the aliens came. Now she examined the data from Colonel Kim's fighter jet. The alien beam had changed something in the jet's systems. "This is amazing," she said to no one. Her lab was empty. Everyone else had gone home to be with their families, fearing the worst. But Minji stayed. She had an idea. In a secure bunker, Park Ji-woo and other world leaders received a message. The alien commander wanted to speak. On a large screen, Commander Drax appeared. His blue skin was darker than Ambassador Vreen's. His eyes were cold. "People of Earth," he said, "you have made a mistake. The Council's offer was generous. Your rejection is unacceptable." "We are open to negotiation," Park replied. "But as equals, not as subjects." Drax laughed. "You are not equals. You have just discovered space travel. We have ruled the stars for 50,000 years. Age does not determine worth," Park said. "We have our own strengths." "You have nothing we need," Drax said. "But we are patient. We will give you 1 Earth day to reconsider. After that, we will show you why all species eventually accept our terms." The screen went dark. Intelligence Officer Kang Dae-hyun studied the alien ships through powerful telescopes. He noticed patterns in their movements. "They're preparing to attack," he told General Choi. "But they're only targeting military bases. They want to scare us, not destroy us." "How can you be sure?" Choi asked. "If they wanted to destroy us, they would have done it already," Kang said. "They need us alive to use our resources." "General," Choi called world leaders. "We have 24 hours to prepare. Here's my plan." As the deadline approached, Yoon Minji burst into General Choi's office. "I found something," she said, holding up a device. The alien beam changed the energy patterns in Colonel Kim's jet. "I think I can make something that changes their energy patterns too." Choi looked at the small device. "Will it work against their weapons?" "I don't know," Minji admitted, "but it's worth trying." The day passed quickly. As the deadline arrived, Commander Drax contacted Earth again. "What is your answer?" he asked. Park Ji-woo stepped forward. "Our answer is the same. We will not surrender our freedom." Drax nodded as if he expected this. "Then we will proceed with Standard Protocol 17. After a demonstration of our power, we will speak again." The alien ships moved into attack position. On Earth, military forces waited. Minji's devices had been distributed to key bases around the world. The attack began at dawn. Beams of light shot down from the alien ships, targeting military bases on every continent. But something unexpected happened. At the Korean Air Base, Colonel Kim watched in amazement as Minji's device glowed bright blue. The alien beam hit a strange barrier above the base and scattered harmlessly. "It works," Kim shouted. "Minji's shield works." Not all bases had the shield technology yet. Some took heavy damage, but enough were protected to launch a counterattack. Fighter jets from around the world took off. They carried missiles modified with Minji's technology. General Choi directed the global defense from his bunker. "Target their weapon systems only," he ordered. "We don't want to destroy them. We want to show them we can fight back." In space, Commander Drax could not believe what he was seeing. Human weapons should not have been able to penetrate their shields. But somehow the missiles passed through and exploded against his ships. "Impossible," he shouted as his ship shook from an explosion. "How can primitives have this technology?" 3. Council ships were damaged badly. Others took minor hits. For the first time in his life, Commander Drax gave the order to retreat. "Pull back to the moon," he commanded. "We need to rethink our approach." On Earth, people cheered as the alien ships moved away. It wasn't a complete victory, but it was something no other species had achieved before. In his bunker, General Choi did not cheer. "This is just the beginning," he told his officers. "They'll be back with more ships." Park Ji-woo nodded. "But now we have time to prepare, and we've shown them that humans aren't like other species they've encountered." Yoon Min-ji worked on improving her shield technology. "If they come back with more ships, we'll need better defenses," she said. Kang De-hyun analyzed the battle data. "They have patterns, weaknesses. We can use those next time." Across Earth, factories began producing Minji's devices. Scientists studied the alien technology from damaged ships that had crashed. Soldiers trained for the next battle. In his ship orbiting the moon, Commander Drax sent a message to the Galactic Council. "The humans have unexpected abilities," he reported. "They have modified their weapons to penetrate our shields. They have created shields of their own, and they fight with unusual tactics." The council called an emergency meeting. In their grand hall on a distant world, they discussed the human problem. "No pre-spacefaring species has ever resisted us," one counselor said. "Perhaps we should simply destroy their world," suggested another. High Counselor Tarnax raised his hand for silence. "No. Their planet has resources we need. And now I am curious about these humans. They may be more useful than we thought." "What do you suggest?" asked a counselor. "Bring more ships," Tarnax said. "But also learn more about them. Find their weaknesses. Every species has them." As the council planned their next move, Earth prepared for war. But little did they know. Some humans were already planning to take the fight beyond their planet. The real battle was just beginning. The sky above Seoul was clear blue that morning. Colonel Kim Sung-ho flew his fighter jet on a routine patrol. His radio crackled. "Colonel Kim, we have an unknown object entering our airspace. It's not on any flight plans." Kim checked his radar. The object moved in ways no human aircraft could. It changed direction instantly and moved at impossible speeds. "I'll check it out," he said. Kim turned his jet toward the strange object. As he got closer, he could not believe his eyes. The craft was silver and shaped like a disc. It was at least 3 times the size of a passenger plane. It hovered without making a sound. "Base, I'm seeing something. Not from Earth." Before Base could reply, a beam of light shot from the craft. Kim's fighter didn't fall from the sky. Instead, all his systems stayed on, but he could not control them. The fighter moved on its own, following the silver disc as it headed towards Seoul. "Base, I've lost control. The craft is taking me somewhere." The world watched in shock as the alien ship landed in Olympic Park. News teams rushed to the scene. The military set up a perimeter. Government officials from around the world quickly flew to Seoul. Park Ji-woo had been a diplomat for 15 years. She had dealt with tough negotiations before, but nothing had prepared her for aliens. As Korea's top diplomat, she was chosen to meet the visitors first. "Remember, we represent all of humanity now," her boss told her. Park nodded. She straightened her suit jacket and walked toward the ship. A door had opened in its side, and a ramp extended to the ground. The aliens were tall and thin. Their skin was pale blue and they had large eyes. They wore flowing robes with symbols that seemed to glow. The one in front stepped forward. "I am Ambassador Vreen of the Galactic Council," it said in perfect Korean. "We come in peace." Within hours, representatives from the United Nations arrived. A meeting was set up in a conference room at Seoul's Grand Hotel. Security was tight. The streets were filled with people hoping to catch a glimpse of the aliens. Lee Hana was the best linguist in Korea. She studied languages others thought impossible to learn. Now, she sat in the corner of the conference room, listening to the aliens speak. "Something isn't right," she whispered to Park. "Their words are friendly, but their tone, it's like how adults talk to children." Park nodded slightly. She had noticed the same thing. Ambassador Vreen stood at the head of the table. Behind him were 3 other aliens who hadn't spoken yet. "The Galactic Council welcomes Earth to the interstellar community," Vreen said. "We have watched your planet develop for some time. Now that you have reached an acceptable level of technology, we are here to offer you membership." The human delegates looked at each other. This was huge news. Aliens had been watching Earth. There was a whole community of different species out there. "What does membership mean?" Park asked. Vreen smiled. At least, his mouth moved in what seemed like a smile. "The benefits are many. We will share technologies that will end disease, hunger, and energy shortages. Your lives will improve beyond imagination." The room filled with excited whispers. It sounded too good to be true. "And what does Earth need to give in return?" Park asked. The alien's smile didn't change, but his eyes narrowed slightly. "Only what all member worlds provide. Access to your natural resources, acceptance of Council governance on interstellar matters, a small number of humans to serve in Council fleets. The usual terms." Colonel Kim, who had been invited to the meeting after his encounter, leaned forward. "You mean we give you our resources and follow your rules?" "That sounds more like conquest than membership." Vreen's face showed surprise for the first time. "Not at all. This is the standard arrangement. All species benefit. The Council has existed for 50,000 years this way." Park and the other human delegates asked for a break. They gathered in a side room. "They're talking about taking over," Kim said. "They just use nice words for it." An American delegate disagreed. "But the technology they're offering would solve our biggest problems." Lee Hana shook her head. "I've been studying their language patterns. They use the same words to describe us that we use for pets or children. They don't see us as equals." Park thought carefully. "We need more information before we agree to anything, and we need to show strength now, or they'll never respect us." When they returned to the conference room, Park addressed Vreen. "Thank you for your offer. However, Earth must decline these terms." Vreen blinked rapidly. The aliens behind him looked at each other. "Perhaps you misunderstand. These are the standard terms for all new species." "We understand perfectly," Park said. "Earth would be happy to join the galactic community, but only as equals. We will not give up our resources or our right to govern ourselves." "This is unprecedented," Vreen said. His voice had lost its friendly tone. "No species has ever rejected Council membership." "Then we are the first," Park replied. "But we are willing to discuss a different arrangement, one based on equal trade and mutual respect." The aliens spoke to each other in their language. Lee Hana listened carefully, catching words here and there. "They're shocked," she whispered to Park. "They don't know what to do." Finally, Vreen turned back to the humans. "We will need to consult with the full Council. This is most unusual." He stood up. "We will return with their response." The aliens left the hotel. Their ship rose silently into the sky and vanished. In the days that followed, Earth changed. Countries that had been enemies for decades started working together. Scientists and military leaders from around the world met to share information. Park sat in her office looking at the night sky. Her phone rang. "The alien ship is back," her assistant said, "but it's not alone." Park rushed to the window. In the sky above Seoul, dozens of lights had appeared. The council had returned with a fleet. Colonel Kim called her. "They're positioning ships around the planet. This isn't a diplomatic mission anymore." Park took a deep breath. "Then we need to be ready. Call everyone." As she hung up, she knew Earth was about to face its greatest challenge. But for the first time in history, humanity was truly united. And as the alien ships filled the sky, Park felt something unexpected. Not fear, but determination. Humanity would not bow down no matter what came next.